Today I'd like to discuss the Australian $1 coin, the 1997 Sir Charles Kingsford Smith coin with his plane, the Southern Cross. So I just want to discuss the error coins I have found. And we'll start with the first one. So if we look, we can clearly see a flawed area there, goes a little bit around, almost like a tick. Now, to me, this appears to be a die crack, and it goes through the tail of the Southern Cross, the plane. So let's look at the next one. So this is another error coin, and we can see a crack that runs through the end of the tail, I guess. So it runs through there, through there, through there. So I'll give you another example, another coin. This is probably the worst crack or the best crack. You can actually see how there's a little bit up there, then it runs through the wing, runs through just at the edge of the tail, and then goes straight through to the other side, to this side. So these are three coins with what I believe are die cracks. They don't look like inclusion type planchet defects. So I've looked through eBay, and I cannot find any coins for sale that have this particular cracking and this particular Royal Australian Mint error. So I'd like to just continue on with errors found in these coins. Before that, this is another picture of the crack. So you can see the crack, how it runs through there to there. It's interesting how, depending on your photography and the light you use, there can be quite a considerable difference in the look of the cracking and the coin. The face, for instance, of Sir Charles Kingsford Smith. So let's continue with other error coins. Before I do that. So I'll put the die cracks, what I believe are die cracks, together. And if you look at this one here, we have the crack going through the wing at probably just the start of the tail going through. This one's sort of going through the middle of the tail, and this one's gone through the end of the tail. So just a different presentation way of presenting it. So like I said, I haven't been able to find any coin that has this type of defect. So let's look at other Royal Australian Mint error coins. So there we go. So here we have a crack. Perhaps I should call it a die crack. The edge there, through there, and through there. So I just use a pointer just in case you missed it, so you can see it there. It's almost like this material is about to pop out. Okay, so let's have a look at the next coin. So if we look at this coin, this is quite an interesting coin because it's almost like a different coin. You can see a very fine line there, and I don't really want to say what that is, whether that's just an inclusion defect or a scratch. I don't think it's a scratch. And then we have these stamped it's like a scarf. It's like he's wearing his shirt there, and then he's got a scarf, and the scarf is flying in the wind and it's going through the numbers. It's quite an interesting find. Initially I didn't think much of it, but upon closer looking I thought, yeah, I'll keep this one. So just a close-up, so you can again see that floor there, and you can see this. I'm not sure if that's something, but clearly you can see this. Doesn't appear to be a die crack, but you never know, it might be a die crack. Doesn't appear to be a crack, it's almost like it's... Anyway, I'll let you ponder about that one. So let's keep going. And this is an interesting one because, of course, I've realised there are three propellers. There's one propeller there, there's one propeller there, and there's one propeller there. And this is like the fourth propeller, which has flown off the plane. But I don't, but I guess I would call this a cud. Probably some sort of a stamping die error. So if we look closer, you can clearly see it almost looks like a propeller shape. And of course we know that Sir Charles Kingsford Smith died in one of his flights with a friend of his, and parts of the plane were found, but I guess the majority of the plane was never found, and I think it was somewhere in Burma. So it's probably going for a world record. So the coins made me think, hey, why don't I look at this guy up and look through history? Who was he? So I was able to find a $20 note. And my goodness, there he is. Sir Kingsford Charles Smith. So I got a bit of detail, background detail for you. But it's interesting how coins can make you look back at history and try to find out more who these people were. So Kingsford Smith, this is Kingsford Smith on the $20 Australian dollar banknote. Now these notes are not produced anymore. In fact, they were produced in 1966 to 1994, and then a different $20 note came out. So he was nicknamed Smithy. He was an Australian aviation pioneer. He piloted the first Trans-Pacific flight and the first flight between Australia and New Zealand, and was born in Brisbane. His history is quite interesting. He unfortunately crashed and died in the sea, I believe, and he was quite famous. He was knighted and all sorts of other awards, and I'll let you read more about him. And of course the $1 coin was produced. So I really like looking at era coins, and it is interesting how from these coins I'm starting to learn a bit more about history, although Sir Charles Kingsford Smith was probably taught in high school and when I went, but I certainly learnt a lot more by looking at these coins and finding more details. So just go through the photos again. I just find these are interesting. These what I think are die cracks, but then that means that 3 dies had to fail, and that it seems strange that I've found 3 and no one else has. I believe there must be quite a few more in the system, so look out for them, and look out for these sort of defects, because you never know what you might find. And don't chuck them away. Make sure you know what the coin should look like, and then as you're looking, if you look at something different, have a look at the coin, keep the coin, look under a microscope or a magnifying glass, and keep it for future generations. I mean, they might be of incredible value. I've seen coins on eBay which are some ridiculous prices, where a little cut is worth $200, or just a little defect's worth $2,000, $1,000. Now, I don't know if they ever sold them, but cracks like this, if they are going for such a large amount, then these cracks would be worth quite a bit. I don't know what a reasonable price would be. I guess it depends on the buyer, but I think they'd be well over $100. Look, thanks for listening. I hope you learned a little bit of history, and I hope you do the same. Do some research and enjoy it. Thank you.